What's happening, YouTube? Jonathan Pariente, The Education 10 here, coming at you guys with another video. I want to ask you guys to please continue to check and subscribe to my channel for more YouTube videos. So, this video now is the Yankees, and briefly just giving my grade and then the coming schedule for them now for May. So April is now finished. Quite a long month of April if you're a Yankees fan, it's been. But the Yankees came out of it pretty interesting. They went 17-13, which is pretty good. They did not start off good to begin April. They had to endure about 13 injuries. Half their team's on the IL, excuse me. Half their team's on the IL. But you know what? For the Yankees to be where they are right now, just a couple games back of the race for second place in the East, with everything that's happened to them, I'll take 17-13 right now over 13-17. Now the Yankees have 13 injuries going into this set month of May now. But the good news is now the Yankees will start seeing players come back. And you know what? At a time like this now, they need them to come back because now the schedule for the Yankees gets a lot tougher. So following an off day, the Yankees begin a homestand, starting with a 3-game series against the Minnesota Twins. And that's an important series if you're the Yankees. Twins are a team normally the Yankees have owned. And for the most part, this is a series the Yankees should win. The Yankees will then introduce the Mariners to Yankee Stadium for the first time this year. 4-game series with them. And then the Yankees travel on the road again for another tough road trip. Beginning first, and for the first time this year, they play the Rays. Rays have been the hottest team in the American League East. They've been one of the hottest teams in baseball. Tremendous pitching staff. And they have a better lineup than you give them credit for. Their team has some depth to it now, which makes them very dangerous. Now, for the Yankees, they have, obviously, they were coming off that great trip on the West Coast. They went 6-3, which was tremendous. And they were doing it with a patchwork lineup with more than half of their starters hurt. So guys like Mike Tauchman, guys like Mike Ford, guys like Gio Urshela, guys like Tyler Wade, guys like Romine, guys like Thairo Estrada. All of them had to get thrust into these roles that they were in no way thinking they were going to be filling at this early point of the season. But with all the Yankee injuries, the kids from the minor leagues really stepped up their game coming over here to the Yanks during a rough portion of April and really kind of settled things down and got the Yankees, back on course a little bit here. Now comes the hard part now. Yankees will have a couple of their players coming back, and they're going to start beginning to come back this month. First of which is Miguel Andujar, who is a major portion of the Yankees lineup with his bat. Despite a labrum tear, Andujar is on schedule to come back this weekend. And what the Yankees will probably do with him, while he is a third baseman, and that's their future piece at third base, with the labrum injury, they're probably going to more likely play him at DH or have him play first base. And I can understand that because Gio Urshela, not only has he been a great defenseman with his glove, but he's hitting over 300. And you don't want to take a hot bat like his out of the lineup and send him back down. He's out of options, by the way, so sending him down to the minors will not work. And Urshela's been like the perfect third baseman the Yankees could have asked for. He's a tremendous fielder. The guy just knows how to get hits when he has to, and he's not going to be a guy that's going to try to hit the ball out. And you love that Urshela's there for that reason. So the Yankees don't want to take him out of the lineup, and that's rightfully correct. You would have Andujar play first or DH, which makes sense. The Yankees also should get back DJ LeMahieu this week. He's not on the IL, thank goodness. But he battled a knee injury at the latter end of the Yankees' West Coast trip, and he did not play in the Diamondbacks series. So having LeMahieu back is going to be huge. LeMahieu really kind of put this team, in addition to Luke Voit, LeMahieu really carried this Yankees team during the weeks. And now the Yankees got a little bad news on Tulowitzki now, and he's going to be out longer than we thought, which means now Glaber and DJ LeMahieu will keep their current roles at where they are. LeMahieu's going to have to play every day, and Glaber Torres will have to stay at second base, and fine, because that's Glaber's natural position. That makes perfect. That's fine. Keep Glaber at short where he is. And eventually, again, the pieces are starting to come back for the Yankees, slowly, gradually, but they are beginning to come back. So having back Andujar is going to be huge. The Yankees should get back Aaron Hicks pretty soon. Can't say how far away it is. Clint Frazier hopefully should be back by with the minimum of that 10 to 14 days on the IL. Get Frazier back, that's huge. So the Yankees, but now as they go into this 10-game stretch, all against winning record teams, the Yankees now are going to be tested now. Their lineup did a great job on the West Coast. Mainly they were beating relatively weaker opponents. Angels don't really have a lot of pitching. The Angels don't have much offense except for Trout. The Giants don't really hit much at all, and they don't score a lot of runs. They need pitching to keep them in games. But during the road trip, the Yankee pitching stepped up. The Yankees' pen really came up huge at times. But more importantly, the Yankees played a different style of baseball from what they normally play. They went away from the long ball and played small ball. Something I never thought the Yankees would have done for this season, considering all the power hitters they have in the lineup and the way they like to play with just hitting the ball out. Let this be a wake-up call with the minor league kids and with these backups playing in the lineup right now. You don't need to win games only by hitting a home run. As you saw, small ball and base stealing and good pitching allowed the Yankees to win games. So now my question will be, once all the main stars for this Yankee team return, are they going to go back and go away from small ball and go back to being a home run hitting team again? Or are they going to implement some of that small ball into their lineup despite their guys returning? Well, that will be very interesting to see. And now with this 10-game stretch coming up against winning record teams, that will be tested big time. Now the Yankees will see, and we'll start with Kyle Gibson tonight for the Twins. Yankees already had used Tanaka the other night against Arizona. So I recall Paxton, I think, should be coming into this outing. I believe he should take the mound tonight, as I recall. I don't believe it. Yeah, CeCe already pitched on that series on the road, and then Paxton started off that series with the Giants. So it is Paxton's turn to pitch tonight for the Yankees. Now, the Yankees got lucky avoiding Jose Barrios in this series for the Twins. That's pretty good. Then you play the Mariners. Mariners got off to a very hot start, but I feel now they're beginning to kind of fall off a little bit. So I think if you're the Yankees, this is good timing that you're getting a Mariners team that's been struggling. And the Yankees have had good success with Seattle. I think they should be able to beat them. The Rays are going to be a real test now. And guys, I'm going to say this very, very, very truthfully and honestly. Do not sleep on the Rays. They're a much more powerful team than they were last year. Not just from bullpenning the games that they used to do. Their lineup's got some power in there. They got guys in this lineup that can hit, which is scary. And now, more importantly, they've got at least 3 starting pitchers that give them length, and that bullpen is already as good as we already have seen from a year ago. Blake Snell's gotten off to a bit of a rough start since he came back off the IL, but he'll get it together. Blake Snell is Blake Snell. Charlie Morton was a great pickup for the Rays, and boy, is it showing. Charlie Morton can easily give them 6-7 innings an outing, easily, being from his days with Houston. Tyler Glasnow has been a great addition to their staff. Another guy that can give them 6 innings, and he has an ERA in the low 1s. Okay, and then you look at it the rest of the way. Then the Rays, for 2 of the games instead of the 5, could bullpen a game. So they have enough depth on this pitching staff alone that the Rays can win a lot of games, and they don't need to score a lot of runs, But they now have a lineup where they can score runs, at least 4 or 5 a game. And that alone makes the Rays dangerous. And right now the Rays are 21-11 right now at this juncture of the season. So the Rays have proven themselves to be a legitimate threat in that American League East. Boston still cannot quite get out of the gate yet. They are still 4 or 5 games under 500. And then you have the Orioles, who are dead last. The Blue Jays are still trying to find themselves, even though they've now called up Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I still think they're a while away from being a real threat yet. But the Yankees haven't seen the Blue Jays yet, and they haven't seen the Rays yet. So these games against their own division are going to test the Yankees. And right now, the Yankees themselves have to start winning against teams with winning records. Right now, the Yankees have played 5 games against winning record opponents. The 2 I just mentioned with Arizona, and don't forget the 3-game series they had earlier against Houston. And the Yankees right now have 0 wins against teams with winning records. So this gets tested now. The Yankees have to start beating the real top gun teams in the major leagues now if they want to make a run at the East and to make a run at the Rays. And we're going to find that out right here, right now, tonight, when they take on the Twins. A team they should beat. The Yankees are very familiar with the Twins. They are a very dangerous team, though, the Twins now. Getting back a healthy Byron Buxton, adding Nelson Cruz to that lineup made them much more dangerous. And again, the Twins always play good fundamental baseball. They have a pretty good pitching staff. They have a nice bullpen that can finish games. So the Yankees are going to have to be very prepared for Minnesota this series, for sure. Seattle, another team they got to be prepared for. They got off to a very hot start. They have cooled off a little bit, but Seattle is still a very good team, and the Yankees have to be wary of that. And then, of course, when they go to the Tropicana, a place that's given the Yankees horrors throughout the last 7 years, the Rays are another team. The Yankees have to find a way to take series from them. So, as now April has blown over, we now enter May. Some injured Yankees are going to make their returns to the lineup relatively quickly and very soon. We will see how this changes now the Yankee lineup and how they're going to approach this because, again, the minor league guys that have been in the lineup now during the course of the last week have really carried the Yankees so far. I also forgot to mention adding Cameron Maybin in the lineup's been very good. Yankees now have another speedster that can run the bases, and they have another good outfield piece that they can utilize maybe to play off the bench or to start a little bit. So the Yankees have a lot of depth now, of depth in this lineup, and they have great depth in the minors, as you saw. So it'll be questioned now, who will the Yankees be sending down and keeping when their big players come back? For me, I'd say keep Urshela. You need him at third base. I love his glove. I would like him starting at third base if I was the Yankees, because right now Andujar can't really play third because of his injury. And until he learns how to throw well, I wouldn't keep him at third base. So my guess is keep Urshela. I like Mike Ford. I like the guy's bat. I think he's showing now little flashes of power that he has that he could really bring to a lineup. And I think Ford, if you give him time, will be a very solid first baseman. I like him at first. Tauchman has kind of started to cool off. I don't know. I just don't think Tauchman's an everyday player. But, again, the Yanks had to play him because they had no choice. When Clint Frazier comes back, he needs to be back playing regularly in the lineup, for sure. Thairo Estrada looks like a very promising hitter. I like his bat, too, and I think you give him more playing time. I think you're going to see more of his skills really show. So right now, at least 3 or 4 of these guys that the Yankees have called up from the minors, I want them to keep. To go back down, I'm sorry, but I think Tyler Wade needs to go back down. The guy really doesn't hit. He's a great fielder, and yeah, he has good legs on the bases, but he doesn't hit, and, the Yankees need people that can hit right now. When you're playing against teams like Minnesota, when you're playing the top-notch teams, you need guys that can get on base, not be automatic outs. I'm sorry, but you need guys that can be productive right now. And we'll see what the Yankees will do with this stretch now. But yeah, Wade needs to go down. Keep Urshela, keep Ford, keep Estrada. I'd send down Tauchman. I'd send down Wade. that's at least a couple players right now you need to, if you're the Yankees, you got to think about right now. May have to send a couple guys from the bullpen down. I think Tarpley goes back down. He's kind of struggled since he's come back, and so the Yankees have to really kind of weigh their options a little bit now once their main guys start coming back. And we'll see what happens right now. But let's see where the Yankees are starting tonight. Minnesota, 3 games, 4 at Seattle, and then a big series at Tropicana to start the month of May. We'll see where the Yankees go. Jonathan Perriente, The Execution 10, saying bye for now.